Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 9 p.m. local time, and you are tuning in to 10 Minutes Bulletin of Bình Phước Radio's television station and newspaper. I'm the one now following are the headlines as usual. All-level Fatherland Front upholds the role of center of solidarity. Over 1,100 youth union members in Bình Phước support candidates for the 2025 high school graduation exam. Tuition exemption and support to be applied from the 2025 to 2026 school year. And later on, the 2025 Rural and Agricultural Census to be conducted from July the 1st. And now are the details. The Fatherland Front at all levels have effectively fulfilled its role at the center of solidarity and a bridge between the party, the state, and the people, contributing to strengthening trust, enhancing social consensus, and promoting local socio-economic development. This was the assessment at the 4th Conference of the Vietnam Fatherland Front Committee's chapter of Bình Phước Province, the 2024 to 2029 term, which was held on June 26, and to review the chapter's activities in the first half of 2025.
A report presented at the conference highlighted that over the past 6 months, patriotic emulation movements and public campaigns continued to be effectively implemented. Notably, Bình Phước completed the eradication of 1,316 temporary and dilapidated houses 6 months ahead of schedule. The campaign on people unite to build new rural areas and civilized urban areas continues to be widespread. Supervision and social criticism activities saw notable improvements with 149 social debate sessions and over 230 supervisory sessions conducted across the province. The locality also effectively implemented paperless meetings, digital document processing, and online administration. People-to-people diplomacy was enhanced, maintaining practical and cooperative friendships with Cambodia's border provinces, contributing to the safeguarding of national defense and security in shared border areas.
On June 26, the Standing Committee of Bình Phước Provincial Youth Union visited and presented gifts to volunteers participating in the exam support campaign for the 2025 high school graduation exam. This year, more than 1,100 youth union members and young people in Bình Phước have joined the campaign.
The Standing Committee of the Youth Union commended and highly appreciated the voluntary team's efforts. To accompany the exam, as many as 48 teams have been deployed to provide optimal assistance to students. The Youth Union and its affiliated units have mobilized resources, including over 20,000 water bottles, 16,800 milk cartons, 5,000 sauces, 4,000 wet towels, and 2,000 free lunch and breakfast servings to support students and their parents. Additionally, many voluntary teams were mobilized to provide medical support and traffic regulation, helping to create favorable conditions for students and their families. The total value of mobilized resources for the campaign is estimated at over 350 million Vietnam dong, or nearly $13,400.
To date, Bình Phước Province has 81 out of 86 communes meeting New Style Rural Standard and 37 achieving Advanced Standards. Phước Tín Commune in Phước Long Town was the first locality to meet modern New Style Rural Standards. These results provide a basis for standard classification following administrative mergers.
During the 2021-2025 period, Bình Phước mobilized nearly 4.3 trillion Vietnam dong, or some $160 million for the New Style Rural Building Program, with businesses and locals contributing 959 billion Vietnam dong, or $36.7 million. As a result, the program has achieved encouraging outcomes, with significant improvements in rural landscape and synchronized infrastructure development. Notably, 2 out of 5 extremely disadvantaged communes have achieved New Style Rural status. The number of communes meeting advanced standards increased by 22 compared to the previous period, and 1 commune has been recognized as a Model 1. According to guidance from the Central Coordination Office for the New Style Rural Building Program, after recalculating the results from the former 86 communes into the new ones, Bình Phước will have 32 communes participating in the next phase of the program, excluding 8 new wards. Among these, 5 communes have yet to meet the standards and none have reached the model standards. 24 out of 32 communes were recognized as new style rural areas and 2 achieved the advanced criteria. Based on the results, during the 2026-2030 period, the newly merged Đồng Nai province, formed from the merger of Bình Phước and Đồng Nai, aims for all 72 communes to meet new style rural standards. It targets 50% of communes, equivalent to 36 out of 72, achieving advanced standards, and 7 communes, 10%, reaching the status of modern new style rural areas. The province also tries to eliminate poor households, minimize poverty relapse, and prevent the emergence of new poverty cases.
On the afternoon of June 26, the National Assembly passed a resolution on tuition exemption and support for preschool children, high school pupils, and students pursuing general education programs in educational institutions within the national education system. On the afternoon of June 26, the Assembly voted to pass 3 resolutions, including resolution of the National Assembly on the exemption of agricultural land use tax, resolution of the National Assembly on exception and support of tuition fees for preschool children, general education students, and individuals studying general education programs at educational institutions in the national education system, resolution of the National Assembly on universalization of preschool education for preschool children from 3 to 5 years old. In particular, the National Assembly resolution on the exception and support of tuition fees for preschool children, general education students, and people studying general education programs at educational institutions in the national education system were passed and applied from the 2025 to 2026 school year. Reporting on the explanation, acceptance, and revision of the draft resolution, Minister of Education and Training Nguyễn Kim Sơn said that the National Assembly Standing Committee and National Assembly deputies all agree and highly agree on the necessity of issuing the resolution and consider this is a correct, timely, and deeply human policy, demonstrating the superiority of our regime and in line with the requirement of sustainable development of the country. The resolution will help narrow the gap in access to education between regions, ensuring the right to study and fairness in access to education. Also in the afternoon, the National Assembly passed the resolution of the National Assembly on the exception of agricultural land use tax. This resolution will take effect from January 1, 2026. The National Assembly also voted to pass the law on participation in the United Nations Peacekeeping Force. The General Statistics Office under the Ministry of Finance has just announced that the 2025 Rural and Agricultural Census will officially be implemented nationwide from July 1, 2025. This is a large-scale investigation, wide in scope and highly complex, with the participation of tens of thousands of investigators, team leaders, supervisors, and steering committee at all levels. The census will collect comprehensive information on agriculture, forestry, fishery, and rural development, serving 3 main objectives. Firstly, it provides data to compile a national statistical indicator system, supporting planning of strategies for rural and agricultural, forestry, and fishery development. Secondly, the census helps assess the scale of labor, infrastructure, and the effectiveness of implementing national target programs. Thirdly, building a database for in-depth research and periodic surveys in the future. The subjects of the survey include household workers, farms, enterprises, cooperatives, and people's committee of communes participating in agriculture, forestry, and fishery activities. Information will be collected from July 1st and completed within 30 days. The census is expected to create a premise for effective and suitable agricultural and rural development policies in the coming period. On June 26, a helicopter from the 18th Army Corps and the Air Rescue Team of Military Hospital 175 transported a fisherman with a critical organ puncture from the waters of the Trường Sa archipelago to the mainland for emergency treatment in harsh weather. On June 26, EC-225 helicopter with registration number VN8620 of Army Corps 18 and the Air Rescue Team of Military Hospital 175, Ho Chi Minh City, Ministry of National Defense, transported a critically ill patient from Trường Sa to the Orthopedic Trauma Institute, Military Hospital 175, for emergency treatment. The patients were a fisherman on fishboat QNG 90828, which was fishing in the water of Trường Sa Archipelago, Khánh Hòa Province. While working on the ship, Mr. T experienced sudden pains in the epigastric region that gradually spread throughout the abdomen, nausea and constipation. On June 24th, the patients were taken to Tiên Nữ Island Infirmary for emergency treatment. Due to his worsening condition, the military medical department under the Ministry of National Defense allowed Mr. T to be transported by air to Military Hospital 175 for emergency treatment. The patients were taken to emergency department immediately afterward and is currently in stable condition, being monitored after surgery. And that has just wrapped up our bulletin. Once again, thanks for tuning in and goodbye for now.